It's a real pleasure to be able to speak with Joni Mitchell. The song we just heard, Magdalene Laundries, how did that story come to you?
Well, a comment was made on my writing habits by my hired man. He said that, he said, you know, sucking on his pipe, he said, you're a cheerful person, Joni. He said, but you write all these melancholy songs. I think it's because you write them at night. He said, why don't you try writing a song in the daylight? So I sat out on a rock and I tuned my guitar to the sounds of the birds around, which mostly squawky birds, you know, but there is a tonality to it. And I waited for an idea for the lyric to come. A couple of days went by, I went to the market, and in the checkout lane I purchased a newspaper and dragged it home. And on the front page there was a story about the Magdalene Laundries, and it said that the church, the Magdalene Laundries outside of Dublin, Our Ladies of the Sisters of Our Lady of Charity,
Right.
had sold 11.5 acres to a realtor for development, and that in plowing the ground in preparation, they unearthed, I think it was over 100 bodies of women, not in exactly unmarked graves, but marked Magdalene of the Tears, Magdalene of the Sorrows, Magdalene of the this and the that. And the story was this, that between 1800 and 1970, women who were considered indecent, fallen women, prostitutes, unmarried mothers, and even unmarried women who were attractive, I guess, and the men looked at them, the parish could deem them a Jezebel and they could be incarcerated. This was described as Dickensian conditions. The women were obviously overworked and underpaid if they were paid at all, and no one seemed to retrieve them. So it seemed like such a poignant story, and the song came of that.
But not quite in tune with your intention or the happy little lick that you had worked out.
No, well, it turns out that the kind of chords I like are not, you know, sunny majors necessarily.
Yeah. Well, people have made that point that this song, Sex Kills, another song on your new album, reflect a sort of a look by Joni Mitchell at some of the uglier parts of our society. Are you seeing, when you experience things, are you seeing more ugliness, or are you just more attuned to it, do you think?
No, I think there's more ugliness. I think it's on the increase, especially towards women. I've never been a feminist, but we haven't had pop songs up until recently that were so aggressively dangerous to women. It's hard for women and men to walk around at night. It's a dangerous world that we live in, but we were having dinner in the hotel the other night and turned on the television, prime time, and a man is coming through the door with black leather gloves on, begins to batter a woman on a bed. A man comes in behind him filming it. This is not, you know, primetime television of a few years ago, so there definitely is something going on. I mean, in Canada, a statistic that I read said 50% of women polled in Canada were battered. 59% in British Columbia, where perhaps there's more unemployment and greater alcoholism.
You've said many times in your life about how artists aren't really created, they're born, and they are compelled to create. And I think
you can develop a talent, but a real artist is by nature an outsider. They have almost an alien perspective, and maybe an artist can be made by childhood disease, which gives a deepening of perspective that otherwise would not occur. Maybe an artist can be trained or exposed to techniques or encouraged, but I think the artistic nature is a birthright.
So do you go through periods where you can't create?
No. The reason that I have never had a writer's block is because I paint, so I crop rotate. You know, if I don't have anything to... I never run out of music. I could pick up the guitar, all I have to do is find a new tuning, and there's an exploration there, and in the process of the exploration, a chordal pattern would be revealed, so there's no way I could dry out musically. Lyrically, I don't understand why people, if they're living at all, the only reason they could dry up is because they're afraid to state what they're feeling at the current time. You're always living, and you're always feeling, and you're always seeing, and you're always hearing. So there's no reason, really, that I can see. I saw Dylan when I played in Japan in early summer. He told me he couldn't write anymore. and said to write a song about the criminal press, and launched into like this long soliloquy about the criminal press. I said, well, why don't you write it? You've got all you need. All you have to do is rhyme it and set it to music. Oh, no, I can't write.
Really?
So I don't know why he can't write. Why can't he write if he knows what he wants to say? And
you've talked about just a bit there about the painting, and I think you said previously that when you're creating, you're almost creating palettes of color, and chords come from that. How did indigo come about?
Turbulent indigo is a fairly general term, the way it's used there. Indigo is a color. It's like a blue, kind of a greenish blue, kind of an old blue jean blue. Van Gogh used it a lot in his paintings. Turbulent indigo, among the many things that it refers to, are the turbulent blue strokes of some of Van Gogh's canvases. It also refers to, in the context of that song, the emotional disturbances that are associated with the production of those strokes, whether that is true or not.
Whether that was madness or not, because some people thought it was at the time.
The consensus is that he painted that way because he was mad, but having seen the reasons for my work interpreted many times, like so far off base, I give that the benefit of the doubt. It seemed like a natural, fluid progression from where he started, his stroke started.
But then the cover of this CD is your version of very much a Van Gogh style. What comparisons are you inviting us to make between yourself and Van Gogh?
Well, it's a self-portrait in the style of Van Gogh, with a very specific Van Gogh self-portrait. He did 2 or 3 portraits, 2 that I've seen, with his ear cut off, both in the same costume. He's wearing a white scarf and a furry hat, and it looks like a thick, wide wale corduroy coat with a big button at the throat, and the colors in the backgrounds vary from one has a red background, one has yellow. The one that I did has a swirly, turbulent indigo background. It's just a black joke, it's black humor, you know.
Nothing more?
Well, the first 10,000 copies, a little tin ear is going to fall out.
Oh, come on. When your last album came out, I guess it was in '91, was it?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, so you at that point you said that, you know, the time would tell whether or not people enjoy the sound of a middle-aged woman singing. Have you been able to reach any conclusions about that?
No, it's nothing to do with the sound. I don't sound middle-aged. You know, it has to do with the concept. You know, it has to do with the idea of being 50 in pop music. It has nothing to do with the sound. I know I'm writing as well, singing as well or better, playing as well or better. You know, like, but it's a matter of whether the public, since this is a very youth-oriented business, will play my videos, you know, will play me on the radio. You know, I lost my slot on the radio for many years as the stations went more towards orthodoxies, and I've been kicked out of every school of music that there is. So I was mistaken for a classical musician at one point, and classical virtuosos still have to defend playing me in their sets. They thought I was country for a while till I brought a jazz band into the Grand Ole Opry. When I collaborated with Mingus, I was excommunicated from the rock stations. Then they thought I was jazzer, and the only jazz station in New York collapsed, went country and western 2 weeks after the release of Mingus. So then, you know, I was basically a person without a country. And a lot of my the people that I was influenced were likewise radio orphans. In the same route, they tried to enter through the doors of country music.
So have they come back to you, do you think?
In Los Angeles, there are stations now, yes, that play a lot of the kind of music, more lyric-oriented music that fell through the cracks for many years.
Do you ever get worried that someday you might wake up and the muse will have left you in your sleep?
No. I don't care.
You'll keep creating.
Yeah, in one form or another. It's not all going to go at once. I'm going to go deaf, dumb, and blind, you know. Well, then I'll see Mandela's on the inside or something. I don't know.
Wouldn't that be a great meeting? Thanks for being with us, Joni.
Very well.